For this video, I just wanted to talk about my experiences of going to my top surgery appointments in Wimbledon. I've started medically transitioning about a year and a half ago now. I'm medically transitioning through the NHS, so thankfully I don't have to pay for the actual treatment itself. So the GIC, the Gender Identity Service I go to, is in London. Where I'm going to have top surgery is in a private hospital in Wimbledon. I do not have to pay for top surgery. It is all completely done through the NHS. I guess that private healthcare has to do certain quotas of NHS appointments and treatments and stuff like that, so I'm guessing that's why this private healthcare place is doing certain things with transgender people. Regardless of why they're doing it at this place, I just can't believe the way the nurses and the doctors and the surgeons act, and just their attitudes towards people is completely and utterly unbelievable from my perspective. And my perspective is someone who's never experienced private healthcare at all. I'm not someone who's ever had to pay to see a doctor or a nurse. So I've only ever experienced free NHS care, like GPs, hospitals, like nurses, doctors. That's the only thing I've ever experienced, and everyone that I've ever come across has been so genuine and nice and down to earth and just not at all self-centered or rude or arrogant in any way, shape or form. They're actual, real, decent human beings. The surgeon that's doing my top surgery, she was, from my experience, very, very sort of hostile and very, very short towards me. And I don't think that that's qualities of a doctor or a surgeon in general, regardless of whether it's NHS or private. I just think that her whole attitude was coming from the fact that she works in a private place where there's people with more money than most normal people, and like their way of life and their mentality and their attitudes sort of transfer over to the medical staff at this private place. I suppose you get used to the type of people that you're around and that you're treating, and that you start to adopt to their way of life and like fit in with those people. And if you're someone who has more money and can afford to pay for private healthcare, then I would say go and do it. It's probably something that I would do if I had more money. And my second appointment that I had with this place was done over the phone. And that was really a check-in to see how I was and how I was doing, because I had to delay my top surgery for personal reasons. And I sort of got the same thing from whoever it was on the phone. I don't know who it was off the top of my head. I do not believe it was the surgeon that phoned me. It was someone else. And then just recently I had my third appointment, which was in person in Wimbledon. So that was a lot for me to go through to get there in the first place. I've just remembered this. The first time that I went to Wimbledon, this private place has at least 3 separate buildings in the same place. And I just automatically assumed that I would go to the main building. I just assumed that it was just one building. I didn't know that there was 2 separate buildings at the back. Didn't have a clue about any of that, and I just didn't even know that these other 2 buildings were there because they're hidden. You wouldn't know they were there. And I went into the main building and spoke to the receptionist, and she could not have cared less about anything at all. She was genuinely someone who would rather sit there 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, sat on her phone, not doing anything, not even at all doing her job. She should be the most customer friendly person on the planet to be a receptionist. If you're not, then you shouldn't be a receptionist at all. People pay money to go to a private healthcare place. If it was me paying to go there for a treatment or an appointment, I would probably ask for my money back based on how badly this receptionist spoke to me. I was waiting there 10 minutes, and then finally, eventually someone turned up, and they looked so annoyed and angry that someone was there waiting. It's like they wanted to come back to the reception just to sit there, not do anything, and not have to interact with other people. And I was trying to talk to her, like, where is it that I need to go? And she was asking me all these questions. I didn't have the answer to most of them. I can't remember what it is that she was asking me. It was just like she was talking to me as if I should already know the answers to the questions, and that I should know a detailed layout of the hospital, basically. I don't know the hospital, I don't know the layout, I don't know anything about it. She was just so rude and dismissive, and then she was just like, oh, where you need to go is the building behind this main building. And I was like, going to ask her, oh, how do I get there? Is there like a way through this main building I can go through? Because I would assume that that's what you do. You have to go through the main building to get out to the back to the second and third building. But she basically just turned round and disappeared before I had any chance to say anything. So I just went through the front entrance that I came into and then walked around the side way. And I was like, this is a road. Surely I shouldn't be walking down here at all. I was walking down there, got run over almost by 3 different cars, genuinely speeding, and they were cars that looked expensive, like Mercedes, Audis, Range Rovers. Those kind of cars went past me, and it was basically the only type of cars that were parked in the car park. It just shows you the type of people that are there and the type of people that have money to pay to be there. So they're obviously paying for the receptionist wages. They should be the most talkative, customer friendly, focused people, but to me, in my experience, they're the complete opposite. But maybe it's just because they realise that I'm someone who doesn't come from money and who isn't paying to be there, that's why they have acted like they do towards me. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. The second face-to-face appointment I went to, so the third appointment overall, I went straight to the building at the back, as I remembered how to go there. I was waiting a good long time for someone to talk to me at the reception, and then they told me to go upstairs to that reception. I did, and there was absolutely no one there at all, so I was waiting 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes for someone to turn up, and there was no button on the wall to press to call someone. There was nothing like that at all. Someone did eventually turn up, and they were genuinely surprised that I was there, and they looked like a nurse. They didn't look like a receptionist at all. They got themselves a drink from the little coffee machine that was there, and then they sat down behind the desk of the reception and was talking to me. Actually seemed sort of reasonable type of person. Then they got my details, wrote things down, printed off a form for me to fill in. I filled it in, and about halfway through I realised what the time was, and it was way past the appointment time. And I was like, this could have easily been fixed by one, having someone at the reception that I first went to downstairs, and then having someone there straight away when I got to the second reception, and then I could have completed the forms and everything like that way before my appointment time. But then the nurse, or whoever she was doing my actual appointment, who was a different person from the surgeon who's gonna apparently be doing the surgery, she actually came out and was like, oh, you're actually here, like in that rude, condescending tone that these type of people have. And I was like, yeah, I'm here. I've been here for quite a long time. And it was like, oh, I didn't know you was here. Well, the thing is, you should have known I was here. I just don't get it. It's disorganized in the same way that an NHS hospital is. And it's just like, I wouldn't pay this specific private hospital to be there, to go there, to have any of the appointments there, because they're so just rude and arrogant people, the staff that work there. But then it's also so disorganized at the same time. I don't think I'll ever understand. Overall, I would definitely say that my experience of private healthcare has just been so negative completely in every way, shape, or form. These people don't need to act the way that they do. They don't need to talk to people the way they do. They don't need to do anything that they do in the way that they do it. To be honest, I feel a lot better for sitting down and saying everything that I've just said. And we will just have to see where this takes me and where this goes, and I will certainly keep you updated and posted with whatever happens next in the future.